This is a video showing you maybe 3 things that most students, if they're going to make a mistake with the instrument, do, and maybe how to avoid them. I know I talk about correct hand position in the normal videos that you have from the course, but inevitably, maybe out of a group of 20 students, 3 or 4 are going to get this wrong, or maybe even 4 or 5, and we can correct a few of them through extra work during the term, um, and then 2 struggle right into the very end. If you use incorrect technique here with your left hand, it will prevent you from playing well and playing anything that's complicated. And once you go down this path, then it's really hard to break those habits. So let me show you 3 kind of hand positions that are problematic, that happen a lot, and how you can recognize if you're doing them, and then how to change them maybe. I think the first one here is what we call shelving, where you hold the instrument like this. Let's see if I can turn my hand. You can see that my wrist is bent backwards and I'm holding the instrument like this, and you feel like you need to support the instrument that way. This is not what we want. You'll never be able to reach these upper strings here without muting the strings underneath, okay? And you know it because your hand is bent backwards like this. What we want you to do is we want you to drop that wrist a little bit. See, like that. I'm just dropping the wrist a little bit like that. It's not way underneath. I'm not chasing it. Also, the instrument has to be straight up and down. If you're turning it like this so you can see your hands, you're making it harder because you're chasing this around. We want the instrument straight up. Drop your wrist. Okay, so you should be, your wrist should look like that, right? And if you do need to rest this instrument on your hand, you do it on the knuckle between these things right here, okay? You can turn your hand a little bit like that. All right, so that's the first one, the wrist. And sometimes guitar players do this because they're used to grabbing on top to grab the top string of their guitar like this. We want a more classical guitar like that right there, okay? If you need to support your instrument, consider rolling up your sleeves. Consider getting a strap or getting buttons to put on there, or sitting in a way that your leg can support the instrument, but keep the instrument straight up and down, right? This way, not turned in, and drop your wrist, okay? All right, the second thing that I see a lot of is when you're doing your finger exercises, and I say, put your first finger on your first fret right there. These other fingers are like way out there, like this. And in fact, the whole hand looks like you're trying to keep it as far away as possible from the instrument, right? Your fingers are flat. They're way away from the instrument. And I understand this because you don't want to use these fingers in the wrong place. So you like this habit of pulling them way away, right? That's not going to help you out here because these guys will never be fast getting in. And when they do, they have enormous play on where they can go, right? What we want to do is we want to get our hand curved, get it in here. And so your fingers are, they're pointing inwards to the instrument. And along with that, when you see somebody playing notes, so I'm going to play these notes for you right here. I'm going to go C, B, B flat, A, G, F. Notice that my fingers stay relatively close to the instrument. You will find this. You'll see people do this. They'll go like this, and his fingers are way out there. And then if they have to play this, they'll go like this. And then these fingers are way out there, and then there, and then there. You notice how these fingers that are not being played are being kept so far away from the instrument. Like you're so scared that if they're close, they're gonna touch a string or something like that and make a mistake. So they're like, you guys get away. We don't want you here. And like I said, you can never play fast, and you're going to be inaccurate because your fingers have a long way to travel and they can miss where they're going to be. If you want to play quickly, right, you keep your fingers close to the strings. Try and keep as much extraneous movement free from the hand. And the way you develop this is by practicing. You may already have a habit of pulling these fingers off. So as you're practicing your notes, you're going to go like C, and you're going to say, okay, I got my finger there, but what are these fingers doing? So you play the C. Now, when I go to the B, I have to put down this middle finger, but it's already really close. And I got to make sure that I don't pull this guy way away, right? So there to there. And even when I play an open string to the A, notice that my hand didn't hardly come off the strings, right? Same thing when I'm going to my G now, I just have to move my finger a little bit. They're not way over here. I'm not trying to guess, right? It's just right there. That. So minimum finger movement. Watch to see if your fingers are coming way off the strings when you play. And if they are, you're going to have to go very slowly, develop a habit of not moving them away. So C, all my fingers are close. Now to get to my B, I just put my middle finger down and lift the other one up just a little bit, right? A, there's no fingers engaged, but they don't have to come far off the string. Now, because 3 is still right here, to go to G, I just have to move it up to the next string, right? F is close by, open. Okay, so that's something to really, really train, okay? If you've got a habit of pulling these fingers away, play slowly so you're in control. Make sure your fingers are there, okay? So the guitar grip with the bent back wrist is not one thing we want. Drop that. We don't want to have fingers coming way off, or your grip being like, oh, I just don't want to have my fingers or hands close. Get it in there, get it close, keep them close, move them minimally. Slowly train yourself to do that. Be very attentive for that. And I guess the last thing is, it's very important that notes that are on this fret are using this finger, second fret, second finger, and so on. Everybody's got a pinky that they don't like, right? But that's how we play that. Too often we'll have somebody who just goes around using maybe just these two fingers or just this one finger. Great, you can do that, but you'll never be able to go like, right? Because you need to use all your fingers in the right place. Now, this is a shifting song that I just played that we're going to do in the second half of the term, but it all comes from, first off, just getting used to, if I'm going to play G, that's third fret, second, I'm going to use my third finger there, not this, right? If I'm going to play C, it's third finger. If I'm going to play B, second finger. If I'm going to play F, it's first finger and then third finger. So pay attention to making sure that you have those right there, okay? Those are 3 things that if you get them wrong and you start to get a habit of doing them wrong and they continue to go wrong, then you have bad results on the instrument. And you and I, a lot of time trying to correct that. And it can be frustrating. And, it's actually really great to conquer that, but better to not have that problem at all. So have some care with those things first, right? Make sure that you're developing habit of playing that's not just, oh, I got this exercise done, but is creating good form, because good form and finger use is the gateway to doing everything else that's more difficult, and is literally the stone wall that stops you from playing even intermediate level things at all properly. All right, good luck with that.